This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Tom, I know there's been a whirlwind of news, and it's been hard to keep track of for you over at Whole Hog Sports and the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. KJ Jefferson kind of has gone under the radar a little bit relative to the Petrino and the win last night. Reports from 247 Sports that he plans to enter the transfer portal. Kind of your thoughts on what's been going on with the potential exiting at quarterback or the staying at quarterback here in Arkansas.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Well, as KJ stated on his Instagram story, I think he was at the basketball game last night, so he saw a good one. That was an unreal atmosphere. Eric Musselman called it insane. I think the thought had been since the start of the season that KJ wanted to go pro, but now, I mean, all you got to do is listen to what Matt Rule was saying, as Chuck pointed out, what the price of a quarterback is, basically, and the fact that if you're a fourth, fifth round draft pick, and I don't know where KJ would be taken, that you could make more money, or at least comparable money, staying in college. So, as he pointed out, he has not made a decision, and I just think that the money was on that he'd be gone one way or the other. But who knows? Maybe he gets enthralled by the fact that Bobby Petrino is here. Certainly, if you're him, you'd want to hear Bobby Petrino's pitch and Arkansas' stance and whether they want him to stay another season. He could put up some unbelievable passing marks if he did. What would it do to your quarterback room, you know, with Jacoby Criswell, with any potential guys coming in, KJ Jackson, and possibly transfers? I'm not sure. I mean, these are all things Arkansas and KJ have to weigh out. I would say the odds are that he doesn't come back, but I don't think it's a done deal.
And
Tom,
I'm sorry. And could Jacoby Criswell afford to sit another year as the backup somewhere?
Exactly. There's a lot of calculus when it comes to what quarterbacks decide to do, and you're seeing veteran, big-time guys like Sam Hartman who have great success at a place like Notre Dame, or Wake Forest, leave and go to Notre Dame, and other things like that. And so, you know, obviously it would be huge news if KJ left, but it certainly wouldn't be a big shocker because that's just the state of the game.
Tom, how active do you think if those conversations have been had between KJ, Pittman, Petrino, whoever else, if he has decided to exit and just hadn't announced yet, how active do you think they are in reaching out to Will Rogers or several other quarterbacks that are pretty high profile in the portal right now?
Well, I would think that you would reach out and say we have strong interest anyway, you know, to some guys, to ones who fit what you think you're going to be doing with the Bobby Petrino system. I mean, do they go out and try to see Drake Lindsey's interest? I mean, I've heard he's very, very strongly committed to Minnesota, but he lives right here. So, I mean, there's a lot of calculations to be done, and obviously NIL money to be discussed, and it's just the nature of the game right now.
Tom Murphy with us on the McClarty Daniel hotline. What was your personal reaction, and then, you know, as a journalist covering this team, what did you think when the news started to build momentum that Bobby Petrino may and ultimately did return as offensive coordinator?
Well, I got along great with Bobby Petrino. I mean, we've all heard all the stories, but in our settings, in press conference settings, he answers questions. Sometimes he might have answered them in a short manner, but he showed up on time. He answered questions. I had a few meetings with him in his office during his time here over things he objected to that I wrote, and we sorted them out. And I think he listened to me. And so, I mean, I went up to Springfield in 2022 to talk to him. Now, I didn't get a whole lot of time, but we talked a little bit after his press conference about coming to play Arkansas. I think he's always understood in his heart that Razorback fans, that the heights that he led Arkansas to were, you know, had not been done in around here in a long time. And I think he understands how Arkansans feel about what his tenure was like. I think his interpersonal relationships with people, you know, probably have improved since he was here last. And so, these are all parts of who he is. And, at his age, he's like Sam Pittman. He's getting toward the end of a good career. And I think giving back, as he said in his ESPN interview, giving back to the state of Arkansas some is important to him. And I don't know. I feel that.
Yeah, and that's where I was going next. How much of that is truly on his heart? Do you think that, hey, the way I left things over a decade ago weren't good, and it did set this program back? That hey, I need to make a little restitution, get this program back on its feet. You think there's part of that in the calculus with this decision from him personally?
I do think that's part of it, and he's been around. He's been to a lot of places. You look at his background, and I do believe that he felt like his Arkansas years were, some of his prime years. I mean, he helped take Louisville to some places it had not been very much to. So it's rewarding, and I think there's a certain part of him as a top flight, competitor that if you have success in the SEC, it brings a certain more level of satisfaction to you when your offense does things against SEC opponents, like going and winning at Georgia in 2010 in the cold-blooded manner that they scored that last touchdown, throwing a touchdown pass with 6 seconds left in the first half against LSU that takes you to the BCS, to the Sugar Bowl. Those kind of things stick with you. Those are career-defining moments.
And, Tom, of course, you're getting a plane that's flying over Fayetteville announcing you're welcoming back home at this point, too. We're talking with Tom Murphy here on the McCarty Daniel Hotline. Tom, I saw this stat yesterday. I think Daniel from All Hogs had it, and I actually looked it up just to verify it. Do you know Travis Williams was a linebacker on the Atlanta Falcons when Bobby Petrino was a head coach? I mean, how crazy is that these two, unless something weird happens, which I expect Williams to be retained, how crazy is that he was once a player with Petrino, and now they're going to be coaching alongside one another?
Pretty wild. And I also think, and I haven't looked it up yet, that Bobby Petrino's tenure at Auburn overlapped, him as offensive coordinator. I think Travis Williams might have been a player there, but I haven't looked up the exact date. They don't hold me to that. So, yeah, they could have two actual connections. And I agree with you. I would really like to see Travis Williams and basically the entire defensive staff retained. But I think the success they had could be where, they have to fight off, people who want to hire them away. So we'll see. I think there will be staff movement. It feels like it. But, they made such great strides on defense. And if they can rebulk through the transfer portal and coach up the ones who stick around, they have a chance to be just as good or better next year.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. Bet Online, where the game starts.